Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Team Netcode channel. I am Josh Gerlach here with Blake Walker and Kate Higday. We are here to recap the 40th annual Chili Bowl Nationals finale championship night. We were treated once again to a freaking banger of a race. I cannot wait to dive into it with you guys. Before we get started, please make sure you hit the like button wherever you're watching. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, X, please hit the like button, hit share, retweet, like, whatever. And also hit subscribe so you don't miss any more of our content. And leave us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Boys, just an absolute fantastic day. I mean, before we even, week, 3 weeks with the shootout. The Tulsa Expo Center is undefeated this year. I'm running out of adjectives to describe what we've seen today and this week.
It was a lot of fun. 40th annual, lived up to the hype. Great racing every single night. I don't know how many times the word banger was used, but every race felt like a banger.
We're going to use it a lot more tonight. That's for damn sure.
And we were treated tonight. We were treated today. This was probably all around one of the best Saturdays the Chili Bowl has ever seen. From what we saw this morning to the records that were shattered, it was so good. Cade's camera's going off the rails. I mean, Cade has to show you he has won races at Knoxville before we get the show on the road. That his opinions are validated. He is a sprint car driver.
I got a cord kicked is what happened.
We're just so jacked up on Mountain Dew right now. I can't contain ourselves.
It was awesome. It was such a fun week of racing. I'm sad it's over. I hope we get to go down to this event someday. I think that was really cool. And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a long week, but it was a long week of badass races, I feel like. And tonight really just put the icing on the cake. That was a great A main for sure. And like Blake said, it was a all day event was phenomenal.
Yeah, have maybe the smallest of gripes that the bottom wasn't any better than it was tonight, but any questions about the track being able to hold 55 laps again, I think that went right out the window. Hats off to the track crew, everybody involved with putting the event on, the staff, officials, everybody. There were some big breaks, but you have to do it when you're running so many races, so many laps today. We saw history multiple times today. We're going to get to that here shortly. I just, can't say enough about everything that goes into this event. And the sport is in good hands because the place was freaking packed. I mean, standing room only tonight. Yeah, it just unbelievable. So might as well just jump right into it, Blake. We saw historic soup runs today from multiple drivers.
If you did not know the names Darren Nida and Mac Leopard, you now know who those two are, and now they historically will live in fame, at least for the time being, until maybe it gets broken again. But Darren Nida and Mac Leopard were the story of the afternoon. They set a record 8 submains. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable what they were able to do, getting through that many mains, and 9 races total was what they did. That is also the record. Mac Leopard, they were just neck and neck. The previous record passed was 69 cars for JJ Yaley back in 2004.
Nice.
And go ahead, Josh.
I was just saying, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get that out of here. My goodness.
Come on, Blake.
73 positions is now the new all-time record. We're sorry, JJ Yaley, you're still an amazing driver, but it was passed. And they were just watching it. First of all, this didn't just happen in an hour. This
was a marathon.
It was all day.
4, 5, 6 hours. Like, this started at 10 o'clock in the morning. At least their runs did. And they just kept going. And I mean, my goodness, it was just a spectacle to watch because the patience that it took. And I think both of them, they interviewed him like 4 times. Both of them said every single time, well, I'm just being patient. I think Darren Nida even said at one point, well, they're just wrecking and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally it got to the point where for both of them, eventually, not enough laps, too many cars. But Kate, I guess from a perspective of a driver, I want to think about it this way. Darren Nida sat in the car. Them both sat in the car for almost 4.5, 5 hours total. I mean, what are we feeling? How are they going to feel tomorrow morning?
I think
they're young.
Yeah, they're young.
They are young.
They'll feel fine. But I mean, the whole time they're sitting in their cars, their legs are falling asleep, and they're losing some blood flow to their lower extremities. But I mean, shit, last night I said they'd run through, we'd see 5 or 6 tops today.
You did.
And they blew through that, and they just kept going. And I was like, oh, damn, dude, I look like an idiot now. But I mean, in a normal chili bowl, that would have been like the high end, I feel like. And then they just went, and I'm glad they made me look like an idiot, because they had a really great Saturday, and it was super fun to watch.
I can't remember which one of them said it, but it was like they're, you know, in the position that you're in, it's like sitting on a toilet. So it's like that's quite the position to be in there for a lot of laps. And, you know, just kind of running through the stats courtesy of Wikipedia for compiling these. Max Leopard, he ran 95 laps, raced for over 6 hours. Like Blake, you said, 73 positions gained, all new all-time record, ran 9 races. Tied with Darren Nida for getting through. He went through the N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, and Mac also won 4 mains and had a
with 4 plaques.
yeah, which is unheard of. And the biggest thing was, I don't think either one of them really touched anybody. Like, I'm sure there was some wheel banging and stuff like that, but unlike you know, some cannonball stuff that we saw at the end of the night, like, didn't have to right rear anybody out of the way. They did it the right way, which is cool to see from a couple of youngsters.
Yeah, and that's tough to do, especially when you're trying to race your ass off. And like, they had a legit shot to get all the way through it. I feel like had that track rework not kind of hindered Nada, I feel like that would have been a way bigger story, which it was obviously a huge story to begin with, but
and it was needed also.
Yeah,
you know, you can only run so many laps, and they did push some of the rework back too.
I mean, yeah.
Which props to them, because you know, you can see what's happening, and I kudos to the track crew, because the track wasn't in a bad spot and they could see what was happening. They didn't want to mess that mojo up. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet for sure.
Darren Nida was basically saying, he's like, I want to ride. He's like, hopefully this shows that I can drive. He's won races this past season. He's had success at like Jacksonville and places like that. He's been at Knoxville. He has raced at Knoxville. Yeah, it was unbelievable to watch. Yeah, the track crew did do them favors. I mean, they could have changed it, but obviously the rework it didn't help, but they had to rework it for a little bit, and that was the big difference. But it's crazy, because if you would have looked at the chart of all the mains when we came into this morning and said, all right, pick out a guy that you think can make a run. Nothing against these two, but nobody would have picked these two. I mean, no. I heard a couple Jason McDougal. I heard a couple guys that you're like, okay, these guys, they got the car. But Nida and Leopard at some points this morning looked like, I mean, he could compete for an A. I mean, that's how good that car looked at points. And credit to those guys for just working on it. I mean, Darren Nida, for the last like 3 mains, he had a ratchet strap holding the car together at one point. Like, it was unbelievable what they were trying to do. They had to change the battery. I mean, it was crazy.
Only at the Chili Bowl, man, you're going to see ratchet straps holding parts of the car together and it not hurting them.
The crowd reactions were also just unbelievable. I mean, like, they were doing
ovations.
"Let's go Nida" chants, and Darren's in the staging lane, like pumping them up and whatnot. And it was so fun. But that was the fun.
And I think that makes it even cooler and more exciting when it's not the big names that you kind of expect. When you have stars that like kind of make themselves into a star, you know, throughout the course of the day, it's even easier, you know, more easy to cheer for someone like that. Let alone you have 2. You know, Jace Park also, he went through what, 6? I think it was.
Yeah, Jace was going.
He was right there, you know, before if those guys weren't making their big runs, he would have been the talk of the day also, and just was overshadowed by even more impressive performances, which is nuts.
Well, and we didn't take notes for every single main, but just a couple things that stand out that I remember. Sammy Swindell unfortunately wrecked in his first attempt. The spring just came apart. I don't know what the issue was, but the spring just flat out came off the left front.
You don't see that very often, Cade.
No.
What happened? Like, how does that happen?
I didn't see what happened to Sammy, but the only thing that I can think of is like the hymen comes off the shock and the shock comes off and then the spring can go. But that's wild. They're normally on top of their stuff. Like, stuff like that doesn't happen. I almost wonder if he didn't hook the berm weird and it broke something, and then
when it was the right front also, like it just kind of exploded out the top.
Broke.
Yeah,
it was really weird, but tough week for Sammy Swindell, and drivers have said that this week is either the greatest week that you've had or it is the worst week you will ever have.
Ultimate humble.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it will, that building will humble you for sure.
We had a couple drivers. I just wanted to put this out there. Our thoughts are to Andrew Deal. He
I
was
was about to
supposed
say
to
that.
start in last night's feature, I think, and did
Yeah.
not. He was dealing with nausea and other stuff before the race. Turns out he had a brain bleed, but they did go to the hospital. They went to the ER and got it figured out. So hopefully he is on the mend.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, yeah. Jesse Love did not race today. He flipped after the start finish line. He was going to be, I think, well into a B, just fine, but he decided not to race just out of precaution. He's racing in the NASCAR Riley Series here in a couple months at Daytona. That's out of precaution. The
And
big surprise.
Sorry to interrupt real
yeah.
quick. Full transparency. Kate and I didn't even touch on that last night because we were trying to get ready for our live. We didn't even realize until after we were done recording that even happened. So if you happen to be watching our Friday night show after this, that's why we didn't even address it. So good to hear that they're both doing okay, Gavin Miller and also Jesse Love. But thoughts out to them to make sure they are ready to go for their next races.
The biggest surprise of the night was we all thought Steven Snyder Jr. was done. And then all of a sudden they post, oh, by the way, we're actually going to race. Didn't advance, but I cannot believe they got that car figured out. They slept.
No shot. And I think I heard Steven say in an interview, he's like, yeah, we were kind of texting last night and like trying to figure out what all we had to do. And yeah, it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Somebody stole their tail tank. I think they may have gotten it back. I don't know. Like, it's just what the hell's going on? You got parts missing. Like, impressive. Yeah.
He made it sound like it was no big deal, but it was way bigger of a deal than he made it sound
that
like.
Frame, I haven't seen a frame like that.
Yeah, that was a huge thrash, and obviously, like you guys said, he didn't transfer through, but that would have been really cool if he would have made a soup run up and really showed out today.
And we were talking about it in our group chat also. Like, I think we were all fully expecting him to make a run, and he just ran out of laps and ended his day.
Yeah. It was a crazy day leading all the way up to the A's. We did have our pole shuffle. Really not a ton of movement. I don't know if you guys, I didn't get to catch last night, but I don't know if you guys caught the pole shuffle as it was happening. It was so sudden. Like, Kyle Larson was the first one to draw, and he draws the one. The camera wasn't even on him, and everyone's like, "Well, what do you mean, Kyle Larson drew the one?"
But we ran through the order, but that was really about it.
Not much happened. I mean, Justin Grant defeated Leary. Danner defeated Grant. Danner then defeated Hank Davis. Him and Blake Hahn were the only ones that moved up one. Emerson Axsom defeated Kyle Larson. Well, that's wrong. Emerson Axsom defeated Blake Hahn, and then Emerson Axsom then lost to Kyle Larson. So Kyle Larson started on the pole. Okay, that's out of the way.
Call me out, Blake. Thanks.
Well, I'm sorry. We just had to run through it. Anything else before we get to the A? I thought opening ceremonies were cool as always. Ryan Holbert always does a phenomenal job. I don't know how any of them were standing up there with those bright lights staring at them as they take pictures. I thought that was kind of funny. It's a show, and I thought they did a really nice job. What time did that race end? 10:30? I mean, that's great.
Blake, you and I were talking about it a little bit before Cade jumped on here, and it's like, I mean, I remember when we were still doing track work about this time, and we weren't pushing off until after midnight. So again, kudos to everybody involved, understanding how important it is to get these shows done, in a timely fashion. And I feel like I'm in the pre-race thing because I pulled up the results here real quick, and I'm getting blasted in the face here. But the main or the quick thing I wanted to touch on is. In the B mains, we had some upsets there. Corey Day was knocked out of his B main pretty much on the first lap when Darren Pittman got up over the cushion. T-Mez couldn't miss him. T-Mez went for a flip, landed on Day, and knocked those two out and Jacob Denny. Sucked to see that. Didn't really get to see those guys put on a show like we probably expected.
Yeah.
Did you get to hear the T-Mez chants when he was coming back on the racetrack?
Yeah, the crowd.
It
was a big,
cool.
It was a big roar. That was really cool. Ryan Timms did not make it to the A.
Yeah, tough night for him.
Yeah, just kind of struggled. I think he finished like 2 or 3 spots out. Tough couple weeks, you can have the greatest time ever, Cade, but the sport of auto racing, what am I trying to say? It doesn't.
Humbling, man.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't deserve anything, realistically. It doesn't need to give back to you for all you give to it. I mean, it's unforgiving, and I think, that was just a tough couple weeks for Ryan Timms.
And it's not shy to remind you that it owes you nothing. I mean, it does it frequently. He's been on he's been on a pretty good couple months here where
I'd say
he's,
so.
he's beaten over the racing quite a bit, and racing's it's kind of like Mother Nature. It's reminded him like, hey, I'm kind of in charge here.
Yeah, Matt Weaver
really
put
good
it
way to put it.
perfectly, responding to I think Danny Dietrich shared some ideas of maybe the biggest soup run, should maybe be like the 13th row or something like that. And Matt Weaver said that you earn everything that you deserve in that building, and I think that's perfect because,
Yeah.
And
it's tough, man.
while JJ Yaley's record got beat, it is worth noting, like, he started in an F and got all the way to the A. Think about, I mean, the cars he had to pass. I mean, you think about, you only could be top 5. Like, for a while, it was like top 8, top 7. Like, JJ, I want to go back and look at it in 2004, honestly, because it probably was quite crazy to watch, to see him get up to the field. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's not supposed to be easy. Soup runs, there's a reason you've been back there. There's a reason it's technically not that easy to get up to the A or the B. And that's why you got to be so good on your preliminary night. But
you earn everything in that building during this week for sure.
100%. All right, let's talk about this A feature. We have a lot of notes to go over because this was just kind of everywhere. And then we'll kind of run through the order. And I think everyone kind of deserves a talking point in the top or in all 24. But Kyle Larson starts on the pole. Emerson Axsom to his outside. We wrecked in turn 1. I called it before we started. I told Josh, I was like, hey, don't get too excited. We're going to wreck here in turn 1. Sure enough, Colby Copeland got around. He just kind of got tagged by the right rear of Jet Barnes as he was going into 1. Got him behind, so we had to restart. Axsom was so aggressive in the early portions, Cade. Like on lap 4, insane slider to take the lead. And it worked. I mean, do you think his plan from the start was like, I have to get out front and control the race?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at that race, especially with Kyle Larson being the guy that you're racing with, I mean, you got to get out and you have to control the race. And it's a lot easier in that building, I feel like, to turn down from a slider than to throw a slider and keep making speed. I feel like that was definitely the right move for him. Whether, I mean, we'll talk about it here in a minute, but Kyle wasn't a factor anymore. But like, knowing the guys that you're racing with, you have to be really aggressive and get out and try to get a lead for a little bit and just kind of get your own rhythm and be by yourself for as long as you can.
And I think that was the only strategy you could have, especially racing against Kyle Larson. We all have seen and we all know what happens when he gets out front and can control the pace of the race. Really, nobody else can keep that pace up for 55 laps. And I thought that was, very clear early on that that's what Emerson was going to try to do. And obviously it worked. But yeah, I didn't think that there was really any other choice that he had. And yeah, it did work out for him.
We had a lot of whoa moments during the race, but I think Josh and I's biggest whoa was Kyle Larson, or CJ Leary was kind of dropping. Like, something seemed like it was wrong toward the back half of the field. He got into the wall coming off of turn number 4, kind of limped it around down into turn 1 and 2, and then he was up against the wall, and he was either going to stop or try to make the hard right-hand turn into the ramp. And Kyle Larson just really had nowhere to go. He was trying to get on the brakes. He kind of hit him, and then the car just kind of turned. And as the car turned, it caught the wall, and he flipped over, and it broke the left front. And that was it. Kyle Larson's night was over. He led a couple laps, kind of was holding his own in second. Emerson was kind of starting to pull away, but, I mean, it was just like – and it wasn't a mistake or anything. It was just terrible timing and terrible luck for Kyle Larson, who might have used up all of his good luck last year. And this year it's like, hey, guess what? You're not getting the luck this year. But just such an unfortunate, just nowhere to go moment.
Yeah, and being my pick, I was obviously gut-wrenched about that. But I feel like Kyle had to be really upset because he was just kind of starting to settle in, and obviously he was starting to play the race out in his head of how he's going to do things. And we all know 9 times out of 10 that doesn't ever play out, but it seems to play out for Kyle Larson. He's just that good. But definitely a shock to see him drop out that early. Obviously not his fault, but that was right off the rip, like a really big contender that just wasn't there anymore.
And if you think he hasn't had the best of luck in these big crown jewel races, obviously what happened tonight, blew a tire at the Knoxville Nationals last year also. So for someone that was, really on a heater and just a great stretch in these big races, hasn't been going his way here the last couple of times.
Yeah. Did anybody see the graphic that was made? I think Master Gassers made it, like Larson by month. like what month he wins the most in. And June,
Stupid.
he like wins 17. Like this sounds small, but he wins 17% of his races in June. Like,
Hasn't he won like 47% of the days in the year or something?
In the year.
It's just insane.
It's unbelievable. Let's talk about some battles that we saw. First of all, Jet Barnes, unbelievable. We'll talk about what happened to him. But Jet Barnes, Cannon McIntosh, Shane Golobic, and Hank Davis, they were 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Jet Barnes, for being 14 years old, he just, like, if it looked like the guys weren't going to cut him any slack because he's 14 years old, it sure looked like he didn't care because he raced them like it. We can't see in the car. We don't know how young he is. If you're just an outsider looking, most people didn't even know he's 14 until he got out of the car on his preliminary night. And you're like, dude, this kid looks just like them. He looks just like a pro. He drives it like a pro. You can't tell he's 14 years old, and just unbelievable movement. And that's not what caused his wreck. It was his own just getting up into the wall, which we'll talk about. But those battle guys, I mean, it was just unbelievable to watch.
To me, I would have to say that is a lot of that Kevin Swindell coaching coming through. I mean, you know, Kevin's been there. He's done and seen everything in that building. And to have someone at that young of an age that is obviously more mature than his age shows, he's clearly talented. And having that coaching, I mean, good Lord, is that a scary combo? He did an interview with Jordan on Flow earlier today, and she was saying that he's Speed Lab for life after winning a driller. And they're going to win a Chili Bowl together. Mark it down.
Yeah, for sure. And like you guys already touched on, I mean, watching him dice it up with those guys that have been doing it, excuse me, for a lot of years and doing it professionally, like that was insane. You would have never guessed that was a 14-year-old kid up there slicing and dicing and trading sliders with some of the big dogs.
And it gives me some hope that the little spell of dirty racing and midgets and stuff like that, that he's, you know, that is the next crop of drivers that are coming up. We'll see how long he's in that class. You know, didn't he win a 360 race already?
I think so.
A wing 360 race out on the West Coast. So he may not be in midgets that long, but hopefully that stigma of, you know, what we saw a little bit from a certain someone in the feature is kind of going by the wayside, and we're getting back to clean racing.
Just keep him on dirt. That's all I ask. Just keep him on dirt. I thought the same thing when Emerson won tonight. I'm like, God, man, he's 21. Like, just keep him on dirt. I mean, and it sounds dumb, but these NASCAR guys see this stuff and they're like, oh man, he's a good driver. We can get him.
And you can't blame people. You know, you make so much more money, and that's changing, you know, with the high limit coming in and pushing things. So hopefully we can hang on to those kinds of guys.
We did have a yellow for Jet Barnes on lap 26. He kind of jumped the cushion. Well, I think he did more than jump the cushion in turn 1 and 2. I mean, it literally looked like he rode the fence going into turn 1 and 2. All they had was the speed shot camera, and that was it. And the Nerf bar backed in the left rear. We saw that a lot today. A lot of the Nerf bar backing in the left rear. Had a bad oil leak as well, and that just kind of ruined his time. Everything happened all at once. Tim Buckwalter then had issues. Blake Hahn's car just stopped running while he was running third. Everybody was just kind of dropping a little bit. We didn't know if it was attrition, but for Jet, it was just a little too aggressive maybe, and just got up over the cushion and off it went.
Yeah, when you said he kind of climbed the cushion, I was like, dude, he knocked the fence down. Like they had a fence repair. Which, I mean, just like you said, from the speed shot cam that we had, that was all we had to look at. It didn't really look like it wasn't that huge of a mistake. It was just like the way it played out. It really screwed him over, which sucks. I mean, that was going to be a really great, which it still was a really great weekend, but it was going to be a really great A main for him, the way he was running. And yeah, that's gut wrenching for him to end it on that note.
Just goes to show, as great of a week as he had, and how, you know, good of a plan and as good of execution as he had all week long, one mistake is all it takes in that building and on that track, and it can end your night.
Several good battles on the racetrack. One of the best was Justin Grant versus Logan Seavey. On lap 30, JG tried a big slider, kind of almost got into each other, not quite. Seavey was able to stay down below it and get back to second, and then there was just tons of pressure because it felt like with the battle for second, one bad move and you're stuck. You're going backwards. We saw Christopher Bell drop like a rock on the bottom because everybody was kind of starting to slowly figure out the bottom wasn't working unless you wanted to block sliders. So they kept doing a little bit, and then Briggs Danner started to get on a charge. There were a lot of comers and goers in the top 20, really. And then Colby Copeland got upside down. And then again, we just talk about these sliders on the restart. Personally, and Briggs Danner, I don't know if they've had beef anywhere. I don't know if they've ever had issues with each other. But, okay, these guys, like the biggest haymaker sliders besides cannons, those were the biggest sliders we have seen or we saw tonight were between Pursley and Danner.
Yeah, dude, it was insane. They were like, they would slide and straight up make the other guys stop on the cushion. I mean, it was textbook sliders, but it was just like, when is it going to end? And when are you guys going to quit giving up time to the guys in front of you? I mean, that was the most insane war that I've seen, not for the lead in that building. That was nuts.
And behind the wheel, how do you keep from mind effing yourself when you kind of know that is coming? Like in CV's position, when he and JG were going back and forth for second, and right there with Axsom, because there was a good chunk of that race where they would just gap the field, those three. And if you're CV, like I said, how do you not mind F yourself, knowing that if you make a mistake, JG's right there, he's going to pounce on you, but you have to go for it because time's only running out.
You almost have to take it as like a plan A, plan B situation, to where like if he pulls down to slide Axsom, he's got to have a plan B if he doesn't clear it. And CV is really good about that. And so is JG, which is where it gets interesting. But I mean, that's all you can really do. I mean, if you mess up bad enough to where the guy can get around you, you at least know you can probably drive back around him again. But the game of chess these guys were playing with each other was absolutely insane.
It's so fun to watch. They're so good at what they do. It's so fun.
And it's crazy. Like the guys that we're talking about right now never once dirtied each other by any stretch of imagination. It was crazy clean racing, but it was so hard that I couldn't believe nobody hit each other.
Just goes to show, when you respect your competitors, you can, I mean, we're repeating ourselves this week, but you can do it. And it's good showing that, because it's a great show for us at home also. Yeah. And there obviously. So yeah, just such good stuff.
The top three for most of the night was Axsom, CV, and Grant. Grant was able to get past CV with 14 to go on a really good slider. And then came the big one of the night. Well, I mean, yeah, it was the big one. Shane Golovic was battling Cannon McIntosh, and they were just trying so hard to get around each other for sixth. And Cannon just kind of short slid and got the right rear right into Shane Golovic. And Golovic, who was plus 10 at the time, was moving through the field, gets upside down. He was reserved. He was mad, and he showed his displeasure while he got interviewed. He was asked, he's like, will you remember this? He's like, I'm not the type to retaliate. And people that know Shane, that's probably exactly what he would say. But it's a tough look. I mean, it was a tough look. You had something to say about, you texted something in our group, Cade, and I was focused on the race, but you think, yes, it was a bad slider, but Cannon might have just missed, or like somehow might have messed up, you think, as he was maybe going for it?
Yeah, for sure. He clipped the berm with his left front, and then it kind of climbed the whole left side of the car up on it. And then obviously he was way too much speed, and he was already planning to slide him anyway. But I feel like that broke enough of his momentum that he didn't intentionally plan on parking.
Yeah.
but he definitely parked him.
And that's a thing where, when your reputation precedes you, you don't get any benefit of the doubt. And as these incidents continue to happen, Cannon's just going to have that following him around. And as you said, Blake, you'd be hard pressed to find a more popular and respected guy in the pits than Shane. It sucked to see that, because I think I actually had picked him in our convo with Blake Anderson last week, 2 weeks ago. So hate to see that. That guy, I still feel like he's going to get one, because he is so good there, and just hated seeing that.
We then had a restart with 11 to go. This might have been the game changer right here. It felt like Emerson would catch lap traffic. Caution comes out. Caution. All the cautions came at the perfect time for Emerson. Justin Grant threw a really good slider, and Emerson kind of got tight on the cushion and was trying to cut it back down, but it looked like JG was probably going to get the run down the backstretch, and then we had a caution. And JG did not have the lead when they had come around for the lap. Kyle Cummins got upside down. He was also making a deep run. Are you guys in the same boat that we'd probably have a different race if that thing stayed green, because it sure looked like JG had him, because Emerson just got so tight on the cushion he just couldn't get a run off the backstretch.
For sure, and that kind of goes back to like having a plan B. He obviously knows that Emerson's going to try to cut it across, and he had a plan going into turn 3, which they never made it there. But I feel like that would have been JG's shot to get it as much as he could have gotten it tonight.
Yeah, and as good as both of those speed lap cars were, they did seem to start fading towards the end of that race. And I don't know if it was the car, the setup, the way the curb was starting to develop, both probably. Both of them did seem to start getting quite a bit tighter on entry. And as we know, that just really will throw you off and screw your momentum up for the rest of the corner. And yeah, that's the only thing that I wish that would have happened in this race, is that we could have gotten lost in traffic a couple times, because we really didn't get that. And we've seen this week how that can just like that change the way that the race is playing out. But still, I mean, yeah, can't really complain.
We stayed single file for a little bit. Everybody kept battling in the back. 2 laps to go. Emerson Axsom feel like he's got it in the bag, and he gets way too tight off turn 2 and loses a lot of momentum. So in his mind, the alert goes off that, hey, they're going to be right here. And he goes hard defense mode into turn 3 and 4, as he should. He knows he's going to get slid. Logan goes down. I think cut him a little break. It sure felt like Logan maybe could have gone harder. Logan gets on the brakes. It slides up the racetrack. And unfortunately, Justin Grant, who just decided, seeing that, to go to the top, was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Justin Grant flips over, ends his night. It's so unfortunate. It is so unfortunate. I don't know. You could fault Emerson Axsom, but he's trying to go for the win. He has to block. He has to hold that slider line down. And it's unfortunate. I mean, it's really, did they talk to Justin Grant after? I don't even know if they were able to talk to him.
I think we went live right after they were done with KTJ. I mean, I think that was just really hard racing. Unfortunate, Cade. You know, you're a driver. You've been in similar spots. I mean, what'd you see?
It was, I would say it was more JG's fault than anybody's, honestly, which it's hard to say that seeing how it played out. But, I mean,
you back out instead of trying to rip around the outside.
Yeah, you could see that going on the backstretch that it was going to happen. I mean, and you know those two guys are going to try to crowd each other, and 9 times out of 10 they're going up the racetrack. They're not going to go down. So he saw his opportunity and he tried to rip it, and it just didn't quite play out for him, which sucked to see. That would have been a guy that would have had some really high emotion in victory lane tonight, I feel like, and I damn near blew my voice out yelling for him. That was super cool to watch him rip with those two.
He's another one, man, that
it's so close.
He's gonna get one, and it's just these nights are really gonna stick with him until he gets one. And I think you talk about being, emotional. I think that if and when that finally does happen, it's gonna be. I mean, he might bust a whole case of NOS on his helmet, because, it sucked to see that. I really wanted to see that play out with those 3 specifically, because it had just been such a chess match between all 3 of them throughout the entire 55 laps, or 50 laps or whatever it was up until that point.
Clint Boyles called this next note that we're going to talk about maybe chess versus checkers. I think it was just simply a bad restart, honestly. Logan Seavey doesn't go. He gets up on the cushion and gets kind of stuck as he's coming to green, and Pursley just passes him on the bottom, and the caution comes out, and they dock him a couple points, or a couple positions. In my opinion, from when I saw it, I don't know if, like, Pursley just thinks that he's going to be up there. He's going to get a drive off the top. I'm not going to pass him. Clinton was saying, well, he thought at first maybe he was stumbling on gas. We don't think he had gas issues. We're not really sure. But anyway, he was like, well, did he just lift? Did he lift and know, he's going to get penalized, whatever. To me, it just like Dason just assumed it was going to be there. And unfortunately, he passed Logan before the line.
That's a risky move if you're trying to back out like that. I mean, would you even try a move like that, Cade?
Cade, are you thinking in that exact? I'm a layoff.
you got a Chili Bowl win right in front of you with 3 to go or whatever. You're going to try to pull a move like that?
No, but I mean, if I messed up on a restart and the guy was already past me, and maybe he thinks I broke or something, I'd be like, yeah, get a free spot back here and another shot at Axsom. Yeah. But I almost feel like in that scenario, I almost wonder if Pursley didn't think that he either A, ran out of fuel, or B, broke. Because I mean, 9 times out of 10, like Blake said, he's going to drive back around you on the top.
Yeah.
And we might never know if it was a game of chess or if he was having problems.
Never plays cards.
We'll never know.
I mean, Terry McCarl is a guy that does that sometimes at Knoxville. You know, single file restart, and he'll swing out wide to try to get a run off of turn 4. And again, I think it's usually, I saw some comments on social media where it's just like, holy moly, tinfoil hats were coming out. It's like, I don't think it's that deep. You know, there's this grand conspiracy that CV was like, oh yeah, I'm going to hit the brakes real quick. Let Dason get by him. It's just like, I think he did stumble on the cushion there, and maybe just didn't get the launch that he planned on. And Dason also got a really, really good start. And you just, in that spot, again, you're going, you see the driller in front of you, and you want to go for that. And do you lift or do you not? Briggs Danner did it on his prelim night and, caught a break. And this time Dason didn't catch the break.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like if you do lift and that guy doesn't have a problem, you ball the entire field up and you're going to get wiped out either way.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a great point.
They do go back green again. Emerson Axsom pretty much nails the restart. He slipped a couple times. Kevin Thomas Jr. came out of nowhere. Like, where did he come from? He ended up finishing second. He had a chance, maybe a chance, but by that point in the final 2 laps, Emerson's not going to give up the bottom. He just kept trying to protect the slider line, did it in the final corner as well. Hank Davis ended up bringing it in third out of nowhere. Again, +5 for him. And Emerson Axsom wins his first ever Chili Bowl. First ever Golden Driller, at least for the Chili Bowl. He's obviously won stuff for the Tulsa Shootout. Obviously now a 2-time prelim night winner. Awesome. It is so cool for Emerson Axsom. Obviously he has won a 360 race and a 410 race here at Knoxville. Knoxville people know who he is very well. I think a lot of Knoxville people were quite happy to see Emerson win tonight. The emotion was everything. He just kept saying, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. He said, I'm 21 years old and I just won the Chili Bowl. And if you knew he was going to get one, did we know he was going to get one this quick? Yeah, maybe not. But the fact that he was able to get it done in that car, he looks so good in that Swindell Speed Labs car. It's just awesome. I'm so happy for Emerson Axsom.
We have the new power team at the Chili Bowl, and it's the Swindell Speed Lab. Yeah. I think it's insane. I mean, we heard it all week from all of their drivers that they have a package there that is just insane. And, his interview kind of struck me a little bit like what we heard from Ryan Timms at the Nationals. Just a little bit of disbelief there in what you just accomplished, which is totally understandable. Really cool to see. Very happy for Kevin, Jordan, all of them that are involved with that. And yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure that the celebration tonight is going to be pretty epic.
I feel like the coolest thing out of that whole thing, like every interview he was in, he's like, oh, this is the best car I've driven at the Chili Bowl. And I'm like, damn, dude, he's really going to throw Keith under the bus like this. Like that's a bold move, Cotton. And he goes out and backs it up and wins the Chili Bowl. That's really cool. And that just really goes to show what confidence he had in him and that car this weekend. And
when you have a good piece underneath you, Cade, you know it. We saw it on championship night at Knoxville last year. When you've got a good piece, your confidence goes from like right here maybe to right out the top. And I would even say I don't even think that it's a shot at Keith. I think it's just more of a testament of what that Speed Lab package has there. And it's a little scary if you're the rest of the field, Man.
Crazy. Let's run through the top 24 drivers that made the A main. A couple big movers in here. Emerson Axsom is your winner. Kevin Thomas Jr. is second out of nowhere. 16 plus for KTJ. Dude can wheel it. I don't know if anybody had any doubts about that. Knoxville winner this past season. So that's a Knoxville winner 1 and 2. I'm just saying. Hashtag noticing. It makes you think. If you want to win, go to Knoxville. Hank Davis third. Logan Seavey ends up fourth. Somehow just didn't move through all that. He started fourth and finished fourth. Briggs Danner, I gotta give a shout out to ABR as I have all week. Alex Bowman Racing should be very happy. I think that is their best finish at the Chili Bowl, if not maybe tied. Really great run for Briggs.
Have they finished before? I'm joking.
Well, that is very true. It's probably not been often, but Dason Pursley sixth. Again, another guy that moved a little bit, but just never felt like he had the car to do it. Camden McIntosh finishes 7th. Christopher Bell goes and finishes 8th. He drops 3 spots. Just never really had it. He was on the bottom a lot, just trying. I just don't think it ever worked out for him. And honestly, it sounds crazy, but the pole shuffle maybe did it. I don't know. It's just so hard to say with what Christopher Bell's week was. I think he should be happy for how good the car looked under his crew chiefing and his ownership, but I know the 8th is probably pretty disappointing for him.
Yeah, and his car just looked like it could not get around the top no matter what, and that he was basically stuck on the bottom of the entire race. And like we said earlier, that bottom wasn't really the place to be. I mean, you could see guys make it work, but the top was definitely the lane, and the sliders were absolutely impressive. That was I can't get over how fun that was to watch.
Crazy. If you had any doubts about Spencer Bayston being a high confidence individual in 2026, I mean, dude goes plus 11, finishes 9th. I know he probably wanted it to be better. I know he probably wants his prelim night back. That's really where it makes up time. He ends up finishing 9th. Tanner Thorson finishes 10th. Not the speed I thought we'd have out of Tanner Thorson this week, but still good to recover for him.
He just never sounded happy with that car.
Yeah. He didn't sound happy at Tulsa either.
Yeah.
Granted, he broke while running 3rd in his race. I do remember that. The old man, Darren Pittman, finishes 11th. Shout out Darren Pittman, man. I mean, that's just it. He always says, he's like, well, I only run 5-6 races a year. It's like, yeah, man, but you get in cars and you win and you do really well. Like, Darren Pittman's a blast to watch.
And he never races a midget except for the Chili Bowl, and he still locks it into the A main like every year and is just outside the top 10. Yeah, cool to see.
And what's crazy is like as you see guys get older, their racecraft really slows down. I need to slow down talking.
Got it.
So excited.
But his never slows down. Like his almost gets better the older he gets. And racing a midget at the Chili Bowl, the one time a year he drives a midget, really goes to show just how on top of his game he still is. And I about guarantee he could still go win some outlaw races if he raced it full time.
You saying Unk still got it?
Unk always has had it.
Unk still got it, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like everybody loves Darren Pittman, but everybody over the age of 50, anytime Darren Pittman does well, they're like, yeah. Like, I feel like they're like, that's our guy.
It's like awesome. That meme. What is it? Leo DiCaprio pointing at the TV.
Yeah, pointing at the TV. Yeah. Blake Hahn recovers for 12th. That's going to be a big, what if? Yeah. What if Blake Hahn didn't have that issue, whatever it was? Still, prelim night winner. Awesome. Happy for Blake Hahn. I know he's probably disappointed of how it ended out. CJ Larry recovers for 13th. Whatever was broken on that car, clearly they must have gotten it patched up or got something figured out. Gavin Buscelli is 14th. Colby Copeland is 15th. How did he not DNF? Good for Colby Copeland.
No idea.
Spun around, flipped over, kept her going.
He wrecked twice in this feature. And then Corbin Ruschenberg finishes 16th. The rest of the way, DNFs, Justin Grant, Ryan Bernal, Kyle Cummins, Shane Golovic, Jet Barnes, Tim Buckwalter, Kyle Larson, and Wout Hoffmans round out your field. Woo. What a time. What a day, you know? Tony Ross just texted me. How does your quarterback break his ankle on a kneel down? Thanks a lot, Tony. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'll be responding to that text.
We're going to try to make it through without. Blake has been an emotional wreck here the last 4 hours.
When Josh jumped into this chat, it was rough. I mean, because the news had just broke like 20 minutes before. I was not doing okay. The blood pressure today has been everywhere, but it's been awesome. It has been an awesome week. This is the most viewers we've had. I don't know if y'all have noticed. If you have that statistic on the top of your screen, we can see how many people are viewing. We appreciate everyone for viewing. If anybody's got any comments, make sure to throw them in. I know you're probably sitting in bed just watching, but if you got any comments.
While we still have so many people watching, I hope that the events of tonight don't change anything and don't hold it against him if it doesn't work out. But we had already planned to have Kevin Swindell on the show on Monday. Yep. So that will be quite the fun episode of Sprint Car Nights, catching up with what you could probably say, if it's not his dad, then the GOAT of the Tulsa Expo Raceway. Cannot wait to talk to him.
And Monday morning, big news.
Big news.
We got something to say.
Monday's a big day. Big news. Day. And it's not a merch drop.
Nope.
It's big news. on Monday at 8:00. But
can't wait to get that out. I'm tired of sitting on it.
yeah,
Same.
my goodness. It's been an awesome week. It's been a blast. I hate that all three of us weren't able to get together till tonight, but Kate, I appreciate you jumping in here the couple nights when I wasn't able to. Josh won't take credit for it, but Josh has done so much behind the scenes this week with graphics and stuff. And then the notes. I mean, the notes. Josh had to make dinner, and I was freaking out because I'm like, I gotta take notes. I was so scared, and it was two.
And they wrecked so much, you only had to do one race, so it
was a D main, and I'm like, oh my gosh. What you didn't see is like I took 8 notes for one D main. I'm like, Josh wouldn't do that. I'm just gonna delete it all.
It's so much fun.
It was awesome. I gotta say, just put it out. First of all, the Dirt Vision coverage, I put it out a tweet. They did awesome with their pre-race show with Connor Wade and Dave Reef. Phenomenal stuff. Flow Racing knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was an unbelievable week of coverage. That whole team, phenomenal. They just do such a great job. I thought the pre-race and post-race shows were great. It was just an awesome, awesome week.
Yeah. Once again, hat tip to everybody involved. Just, again, everybody involved that makes that show possible. We talked a little bit behind the curtain with Blake Anderson about how they do the shift changes and everything with the Flow broadcast. All of the commentators, analysts that they have do a fantastic job. That's a ton of prep work that you don't see, even just for our shows here. Like Blake was saying, we do take notes and prepare, and we're only doing little live shows on YouTube after after the races. But those guys are on camera on the mic for 12 hours some days, and it's a lot of work, a lot of time, and we're very appreciative of all that. Cade, real quick, I saw Yorkie in here. I don't have the full story here, so I can't really speak to it. But if there were car changes between the prelim and the final night without any crashes, I don't like that personally.
I don't want to get into the politics of it.
Yeah. It's interesting. What do you think?
I don't know enough about it to give my opinion personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you'd have to know for sure that he switched, but even if he did, I feel like
you kind of earn that. If you earn the spot, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they'd almost have to like police a way to, kind of like Knoxville does with our tech stickers. Like you'd have to have a way to police that the car that you run your prelim night with is the car that you run Saturday with. But even if he did switch cars, I feel like that was probably the right move. I mean, they were struggling pretty bad.
Yeah.
And not saying he did. I mean, they might have figured some stuff out that they just overlooked on their prelim night and got way better. But that was a pretty good charge for him tonight. I feel like, especially starting that far back and having to battle all the attrition and spin outs and flips and not hitting people.
Yeah. And we know he likes to have the coilovers on all 4 corners of his cars, not just the midget, but also on his high limit, team as well. At some point, do you have to kind of, like most other people are doing it a different way for a reason? Like,
because he change it up.
I mean, he complained about his car so much throughout the week. It's like, well, at some point, do you just go back to kind of a tried and true method? How big of a change is that, Cade? And have you ever driven a setup like that before? How big of a difference is it?
I've never driven a 4-coil sprint car by any means. I mean, that's shit from like the 80s, 90s. But I mean, like the nights that he made it work, it was really, really fast, obviously.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, if it's not broke, why go try to fix it?
Yeah.
And I feel like this week kind of made him realize that, if anything, and maybe they'll go back to what they were doing before when he was winning drillers.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got. Again, we appreciate everyone for watching all week long. Boys, it's been fun. Hopefully next year we can make it out to this event. I think it's obviously on our bucket list to get out there.
For sure. Thank you guys for your time. I know this was quite the commitment all week long. So appreciate you guys doing this. Thank you everybody that's tuned in. It's seeing all the support is really cool. It's been a hell of a 10 months, I guess, since we started this whole thing up, and it's only bigger and better from here, especially with the news on Monday. I'm really, really excited for 2026 with you guys.
Should be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We won't really see much racing. We won't be talking about racing till Volusia. ASCS will start things out, obviously, with I think 3 or 4 days of racing at Volusia in the 360s, and then bike week starts, and then just like that, we'll be back in the groove. So, yeah, enjoy Monday's show. We'll have Kevin Swindell on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully Kevin Swindell's on. He might be still partying afterwards, and obviously we got our news at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. So if you want to follow us, if you haven't already, please give us a follow at Team Netcode. Reminder to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms. We do this weekly on Mondays, live shows and whatnot. And then obviously with our big news, don't want to spoil anything, but ways to view. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to see how everything works out. Again, I'm not spoiling anything. That was close, but we're hanging in there.
On the line.
If you want to follow us, Josh is at Josh_Gerlach on Twitter. Cade is at Cade Higday, and I am at Blake_Walker8. Boys, you got anything else before we head out? My Chili's was great. I did have Chili's. My triple dipper was phenomenal. I did not lie. I said I was going to get Chili's. Carson Hosevar liked my tweet because he recognized Chili to Chili brand, so he's doing his job. But yeah,
in Stidham we trust next week. Blake.
In Stidham
Good
we
luck.
trust.
Good luck.
Stidham is leading us to the Super Bowl, right? Gosh, I need
something like that.
I'm glad Emerson Axsom won tonight. We had a great race, or I would have gone crying.
Congratulations on your weekly win as well. Well,
I don't want to brag, but I'm gonna brag here. I won our Houston's picks. I won.
All
our
right, time to end this. Let's get Blake off the screen.
It's been a great year. If people thought I don't know ball, that's what it is. We appreciate everyone for watching. We'll see everyone on Monday. Thanks for joining us this week for the Chili Bowl. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good rest of your week, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.